Alrighty. We're down here working on the fence. I'll leave the crap. Yeah, there's the old post there. This is a bit some of the stuff my father cut out. I've had to cut out all this gear here as well. And try and pull this away from the fence, which actually took the fence with it. This is glorious plant. African boxthorn, B-O-X-T-H-O-R-N. Go and Google it if you want. The size of the spikes on it. Seriously. If you go over this stuff with a car tyre, you can just about forget about it. We've even punctured tractor tyres. Yeah, thick tractor tyres with this stuff. Admittedly, it was the front tyres, but they're far larger than car tyres and a lot more heavy duty to handle all the weight. And they still puncture them too. Glorious stuff. Anyway, I'll sort of get spiked through the foot. I got spiked through the foot twice the other night. Even though some of this is old, after a while it starts to rot, but it doesn't mean it ain't going to stab you in the foot as well. Anyway, things have been working out at work all right. Believe it or not, we got paid 2 weeks' pay in the 1 day. So, yeah, apparently over in China the internet connection's a little bit shonky and the internet banking may be done or it may not be done. Just depends on when the internet decides it's going to work over there. But his wife usually works out all the pays and she's over there on business at the moment, and that's why it all sort of took a while. Apparently the new manager's starting next week. Apparently we're not going quick enough, but you know, it's been hard when there's very boring and you haven't got your pay and your motivation just sort of starts to slow up a bit. And yeah, but anyway, this would be a bit of a after all the drama, seems things are all right. I've found out that he sort of talked to us and said, oh well, it'd be good if you could get a chemical. Be good if you could get a chemical user certificate and a few things like that if you want to, you know, keep being here, sort of thing. So he does actually intend to keep us, which is good to hear. I was glad to hear that. He probably should pay for the certificate if we're going to use it at work, but whatever, I'll pay for it. It's just good to hear there's a confirmation that he's interested in us staying on, regardless of the fact that we ain't doing things quite as quickly as he'd like, because we don't make a rush job of it and we do it properly. But yeah, he's sort of going to get a bit more snail bait and get a bit more serious with that. Fortunately, he's not going to wipe out all the snails, but the worst hit areas he's trying to wipe out about 80% of them. So yeah, I was sort of happy with the way things are turning out after all that drama, and this will be a little lesson to me to make sure that I don't spend everything on silver straight away and to actually have $1,000 sitting around. So I'm going to have $1,000 sitting around to fall back on in case all this sort of business happens again, and apparently it has before. So at least then I'll have a bit of money to fall back on. I got my car back, put a second-hand alternator in it, and they realised the fan belt was just about stuffed, and it's a very specialised fan belt, and because it's a Tickford engine, those of you in Australia know what an XR6 is. It's got the XR6 engine, different belt configuration. It's one of those multi-groove belts, $70 for the belt alone, plus labour, blah blah, come to about $340. But now I've got it back, and yeah, it seems as though everything, even though I had a bad start of the week, everything's working out well. We're going to go ahead and put up one section of the new fence tomorrow. Not all of it, there's about 5 sections, but one of the really large sections we're going to put that up tomorrow and strain it and get it wide up on the top at least, and then, you know, on Sunday or whatever I can come down and wire it at the bottom and the middle. But yeah, it'll be good to get it on and get a layer of barb on the top and all that, and we are really making progress with all this stuff. Finally. It's probably been about 100 years since I last touched the fence down here, aside from my uncle patching it up with wire that probably should have been in scrap metal. But on top of that, my dad's decided that he's going to continue on the same fence line, which this one, as you might have realised from the background noises against the road, he's going to, the boundary's only just over there, probably only like, 80 yards away or something, and he's going to continue on with his one on that same line, because he's a little bit better, but not a great deal better. So yeah, it's feeling finally getting somewhere, and things are looking bright, and yeah. There's a few logs. This one's just talking about. These ones are still stuck up in the bush. Because you know they're the size of it there. It's about a third live and 2/3 dead. They're still alright. There's some that are just rubbish. Like some of these bits here. Like a mouse nest in it. It's only like an inch or so. I'm going to go ahead and chuck all these in the flipping bonfire. It's another one of the polystyrene boxes. I was hoping the log would miss it when I cut it, but no. It's, probably should still get a bit of this stuff out here. But I've been doing stacks of all this, and I'll show you the stacks of all this that have been piling up in a minute. It's getting a bit dark, but well, I made a decent sized stack. As you can see, so this one took a little while, nearly 2 afternoons after work, but yeah, they ain't necessarily small stacks, and they're only going to be getting bigger as we get some of the African box thorns in the paddock and tear them out with the tractor later on and drag them up beside these, and then try and burn the whole lot, well, basically not this coming winter, but next winter, or something like that, we'll see. Hey, that wood that was underneath that blue tarp, I've pretty much just about finished burning that. I've got a few little bits and pieces left, but yeah, nothing that I couldn't burn in about a night or so. Anyway, but yeah. Something else I didn't mention, and that was that we packed a shipping container full of wine, and we even got given 4 bottles of wine as well. One of the types of bottles, 2 of one type and 2 of another type, it's got a label in English and it's got another label completely in Chinese. All the boxes, a lot of the boxes are the same. You've got most of the label in English, and then you've got a bit of it in Chinese. You know, and I think it's good to see something other than iron ore, coal and natural gas and gold leaving this country and going to China. You know, for all the stuff that comes from China to here, it's good to be sending something back to there, aside from just stuff we've dug out of the ground. But yeah, I'm not a great expert on wine drinking, believe it or not, even though I can get you about 2 big rigs full of flipping wine, like 2 semis full of wine with a day's notice. I am not a real wine drinker. If you offered me a pallet of wine or 3 slabs of beer, 3 cases of beer, I'd take the beer, because, yeah. But all the same, I will tell you, you know, I had a go at some of the stuff he had given me, and Well, it doesn't take too long to get drunk off it. I'm alright now, but before, ooh, things are a little bit blurry on it. It's 13. A lot of wine, I think, is usually about 12.5%, but this is 13.5%, which works out 27 proof. But yeah, I don't normally drink, so I did tonight to try out one of the ones he gave me, and yeah, lucky I didn't have any more than I did, to be honest. And guess we've got to get up and do this fence tomorrow. So it turns out this stretch of fence, my father worked out it's 240 metres, so that's probably about 250-ish yards. So that's a big stretch what we're going to do tomorrow. So, and things are going quite well with the rest of it. I've really just got to walk down and chop out all the plain wire fence, and then we're going to go and pull out some posts later on with a post puller that I should actually show. It's a brilliant machine that he's made. It works on the leverage principle, and they've had as many as 3 blokes pulling on that lever to lift out, well, it was actually a fence that was concreted in, like in, you know, between 2 houses, and 3 people leaning down on the lever, and it didn't break the machine, and they got the stuff out. And it's, you know, only a very simple device. But I should show it, and we're going to try and have a go at some of the old posts with that. So I got some more firewood. It's red gum, which is a native hardwood, and it sort of weathers on the outside, but inside you could cut it open and it looks just as good as, if you cut it open with a chainsaw, it looks just as good inside as some sort of polished blimmin' high-end table. I mean, I'm not joking, that's what it looks like inside. But those that we can't get out with a post puller are a bit too much screwing around, well, I'll just cut them off a ground level anyway, because to be honest, it's not worth my effort fighting like hell to get out a post out of the ground, because, well, I'm not that short on wood, to put it lightly, but I haven't showed it either, but I went and cut down a couple of the small cypresses had fallen down. There were some other small ones that were thin enough trunks but reasonably tall, and I've chopped down 3 of those as well and sliced those up. And yeah, at some point I've got to pick up the logs and deal with packing those away. But I mean, and it turns out there's another peppercorn tree that's got to get the chop as well, and that's about 3 main bits branch out of that. More logs, plus the ones I've showed earlier in this video. Blah, blah, blah. We are not going to be short of wood at all. We're going to have fun trying to pack everything in, to be honest. But yeah, rather have too much than not enough, and because I make a good use of it as I am right now.